Hello everyone! So for today, we will be discussing the third topic for our end terms. And for today's discussion, we will discuss more about your nursing informatics on an international perspectives. Paano bala ang iba niya countries nag-adapt sang inyong nursing informatics? So now, let's start with the very first country, your Canada. Ayan. So the nursing role class in managing your information in the health service organization and care facilities in Canada is similar to that of other developed countries. So in Canada class, Canada believes that registered nurses should be advocates and lead in implementing the collection, storage, and retrieval of nursing data at a national level. Now, in Canada class, usually your Canadians have a unique healthcare system, one that is the envy of other countries. Nahisa ko ng iba niya countries. Because one of the thing that makes it unique class is their belief in health as a right. Isa siyang karapatan, and not as a privilege or an economic commodity, but rather as the right for all Canadians. The information revolution has prompted initiatives by organizations to develop an automated information system which focuses on the utilization of data for the purpose of, number 1, resource allocation. Number 2, it focuses more on the patient-specific costing. And also, number 3, it has their outcomes of the services rendered. And also, class, the evolution started, especially in the field of informatics, it started when they developed your CIHI, or your Canadian Institute for Health Information, or your CIHI. So the establishment class of your CIHI started in the late 1980s. That led to the National Task Force on Health Information, known as the WIL Task Force. Ayan. Which presented comprehensive goals, strong vision for their nationwide health informatics system. Also, class, as CIHI or your CIHI evolved and matured, the healthcare community came to realize that they need health systems that will support them in the decision-making related to clinical care of individuals and group of clients, then called your Pan-Canadian EHR, which gradually emerged. Okay, ang nag-emerge to sa ila, ang ginatawag nila nga Pan-Canadian EHR, or within the Canada or the entire Canada nga electronic health records. So during the late 1990s, beginning with the reports of the recommendation of the federal government of Canada, it promised to support $500 in the development of this electronic health record because it identified the need to begin working immediately on the building blocks for the next stages of your EHR. Ayan. So, grabe, kaging budgetan, gidya $500. Many obstacles they did encounter while making use of the Pan-Canadian EHR. So, they have decided to make a new one which is known as your Canada Health Infoway in 2001, but the operation began in April. Ayan. So, from the Pan-Canadian EHR, ginhimo na siya or revise nila into a Canada Health Infoway. Ayan. So, the Infoway mission was to foster and accelerate the development and the adoption of your EHRs with compatible standards and communication technologies on the entire Canada or your Pan-Canadian basis but with tangible benefits for the Canadians. So they also incorporate your data related to patient assessment and interventions and practice patterns that are also included because, again, nursing is the single largest group of healthcare providers. So gin-establish gid nila ang ilang own electronic health record, not just in a specific area but for the entire Canada, pan-Canadian. Okay? Now, let's have the informatics naman in Europe. So in Europe, in Europe class, it is a continent with over 750 million inhabitants with 50 countries. That makes it obvious that they really need your healthcare systems. So kadamo-damo gali class no galalabo to sila ya 750 million in population. So as with many countries worldwide, the main rationale for implementing a great information system or information technology in the healthcare sector is to improve safety and quality of patients. So again, ang ila diri nga focus again is to improve safety and quality of patient care. Ayan. So in Europe class, the National Nursing Association worked jointly on quality assurance during the late 1980s, which was one of the foundations for the awareness of their need of a system. Okay, so sa 1980s, dito nila nakita niya, kinahanglan tagigali isang do ka information system to organize our health records. So in 1990s, your Danish nurses initiated the joint project Telenurse. Yan. Within Europe to promote the standardization of nursing data in AHR. So kumbaga in the early 90s, yan naka-mention na sila about the development of your telehealth. Ayan. In Sweden, Finland, Norway, Denmark, Estonia, and Latvia made their own system which they call as your VIPs model. Na social pag ito ilaya nga system, yung tawag nila nga VIPs model. So the VIPs model acronym for the Swedish spelling of well-being. Yan. So it means your well-being, integrity, prevention, and safety. Yan. With the purpose of conceptualizing the essential elements of your nursing care, identifying and clarifying and facilitating your systematic thinking and nursing recording. So this model class is based on the structure of the nursing process. And in addition, it includes other areas for which the nurse has responsibility in recording. Ayan, kanami galis ang ilang VIPs model, no? Kaya ang ila to yan, naka-structure siya nga naka-nursing process na, naka-adpay. And also, it is responsible for recording. Pwede sila dito ya ka-record. So the focus of this model is on patients functioning in daily life activities rather than the pathophysiologic problems. More sila sa activities ni pasyente, hindi kay sa mga pathophysiological problems na ma-identify during the patient care. So daka nami sa ila Europe, no, naka-adpay, naka-focus siya more on the nursing area or the nursing aspects. Sana all. Okay? Now, let's have your nursing informatics naman in the Pacific Ring. Yan. So the evolution of your nursing informatics has varied in each of the Pacific Rim countries. Australia, New Zealand have made considerable progress since 1980, and in South Korea in 1990s. Nakanami, no, kay 80s pa lang, Australia and New Zealand, 90s ya South Korea, nagamat-amat na sang evolution sang ilang informatics. Nurses in a number of other countries in this region have only just begun or have yet to learn about nursing informatics through the introduction and the use of technologies in the healthcare industry is progressing like in Malaysia and Japan. So, tama na ito yung ka-advance. So, let's have first your New Zealand. So, there were a lot of RNs or nurses and midwives working in New Zealand, with most of them working in Auckland. The city by default becomes the focus of the drive for greater health informatics awareness. Ayan. So, sa Auckland, ang ilang nga default city of the development of your health informatics. So as part of ensuring the standard of practice, the government passed your Health Practitioner Competence Assurance Act or your HPCA last 2003. Para sa DNA siya ang HPCA. So this act's class or this act requires all healthcare practitioners to describe its scope of practice to ensure the safety of the public by defining the health services that they can offer. So sa madaling salita, they are more focused on your professional descriptions or your work description or your job description. Kung nurse ka, ano ang imo nga scope? Kung doctor ka, ano ang imo nga scope? Okay, so they focus more on the scope of practice and ensure the safety of the public. Also, class, the New Zealand Ministry of Health or your MOH is interested. Let me change this one. Yan. So, is interested in the information collection. So, they started with New Zealand Health Information Service. Ang ilagi niya nga una nga HIS was your NZ Health Information Service. So this body controls class the database which holds the registration of 95% of your New Zealanders. May record na sila 95% of their population. O di ba bongga? So this database uses your unique identifiers which is assigned at birth. Yan, kanami no kay assigned at birth. And is designed to follow the individual through each healthcare event in his or her life. Nan, kanami iya kay samtang bata ka pa may record ka nadadaan sa ilang health information service or system. The identifier is called your National Health Index. Okay, ang tawag to sa ila is National Health Index or your identifier during at birth pa lang. It allows your easier tracking of information through healthcare episodes. Now, let's go to Australia. In Australia, there are more than 50 such specialties in the National Nursing Organization, one of which is the Health Informatics Society Australia's Nursing Informatics Special Group. Nabubulol na si So. Ayan. So, also known as your HISA-NI or HISA-NI. Okay? So, HISA-NI or your HISA-NI has been funded by the government of Australia to develop a strategic plan for nursing informatics capacity builder and a plan for nursing professional to engage in its agenda. Okay? So together with your HISA-NI, the Australian Institute for Health and Welfare provides your research and statistical support to the Australian government or your AIHNW. So this has developed the National Health Information Knowledge Base, an internet-based interactive electronic storage site. Kanami iya kay do may website sila ya that contains all the national health information systems. So in 1993, your AIH and W signed an agreement to improve quality and cooperation in the development of your national health information. So this now provides national infrastructure needed to provide your high-quality health data and electronic health records. Kanami lang yan sa iba niya countries class no kay na well established ang ilang health informatics as early as 80s and 90s. Now, andito na tayo. Nursing Informatics in Asia. So computers were introduced into the healthcare sectors of Asian countries in 1970s. The first application of IT on healthcare in Asian countries are focused more on the administration, billing, and insurance. So as early as 70s, may ara, nagitayo-gali klase IT systems. Pero ang IT systems ngayon na for admin lang. No? Nursing administration, billing, kag sa mga insurance or healthcare insurance na ginatawag. The governments have played a vital role in introducing your IT into the healthcare sector, and in most countries class, computers were used in nursing during the early 70s. Now, let's have your organization called as your APAMI, or your Asia Pacific Association for Medical Informatics. This one class or your APAMI actively promotes your telemedicine, bioinformatics, and public health informatics. Again, tatlo ang gina-promote yan eh. Telemedicine, bioinformatics, and public health informatics. So this one or your APAMI class addresses the public health informatics research and development such as informatics deployed in the contact tracing, your epidemiological reporting, and the monitoring to tackle acute disease outbreaks. Like for example, sa COVID, no, may contact tracing kita. Same also with the roles that your APAMI is giving us. Okay? And it is established in 1993 as IMIA regional member to promote your regional cooperation and development of your health informatics. Maghambal kita class, IMIA, it means International Medical Informatics Association. Again, International Medical Informatics Association. Ayan. So, IMIA class, we're in the world body of your health and biomedical informatics. Okay? So, it provides your leadership and expertise to the multidisciplinary, health-focused community and to the policymakers. So, ang vision ng IMIA class is that there will be a worldwide systems approach for healthcare. Excuse me. Ang ilang focus again sa IMIA is worldwide systems approach in healthcare or for healthcare. So dapat kuno kabilugan nga places sa ato nga world may connected nga information system sa healthcare. Ayan. Ayan. So pumunta naman tayo dito sa South Korea. Ayan. So the use of your computer started in the late 1970s in hospital finance and administration systems to expedite your insurance reimbursement. Okay? Sa 70s pa lang, may ara sila informatics, pero laban sila for finance and administration systems. So the National Health Insurance System expanded to cover the whole population, and computers became necessary equipment in the healthcare organizations. Also, class, the nursing informatics were first introduced in 1987. It was called as COSME. Ayan. Or your Korean Society of Medical Informatics. Nursing has been highly visible in the COSME by the presentation and the publishing of their papers on the use of your computers in nursing. Sa COSME class, it always offer your workshops, seminars, and open forums that also offer educational programs for beginners in health informatics. Meaning, sa sulod sa inyo yung COSME, may ara sila yung mga programs or mga modules nga for those nga mga nurses nga gusto magbigin sang ilang nga knowledge with the health informatics. Kanami ilang gid. And it serves as a forum for both academic and industrial scientists in the health informatics. So that is in your South Korea. Opa! Next! So in South Korea also class, it established by leaders in the academia and industry of healthcare informatics fields to meet the social demands for advancing information society. So not necessarily nga puro medical field ang ari diri sa COSME. May ara gid leaders sa academia or mga teachers and professors nga ari diri. Social. Okay? So they have your MedInfo 98 and NI 2006 conferences that were held in Seoul or in Seoul, Korea, provided excellent opportunities for Korean nurses to become acquainted with nursing informatics at the global level. Now, let's go to the land of the rising sun, Japan. So it began to pay attention to the use of computers in the healthcare setting during the late 70s, following the increased use in the computers. So they hosted your MedInfo 80, and during this time, the Japanese Association of Medical Informatics, or your JAMI, was founded. Sa Korea may COSME, sa Japan may JAMI. So with the aims ng JAMI, ang ilang aim class is to support health informatics in Japan. So JAMI has held annual and biannual academic conferences. And these conferences have contributed considerably to the progress of health informatics in Japan. So the focus was first more on billing. The parehas man sa iba nga countries a while ago or mentioned ago that their informatics focuses more on the billing. Same also with Japan. Ayan. So they focus more on your informatics, on your billing system. Okay? Now, the focus was first on the billing, then shifted to the research and development. Kanami, kay wala lang sa billing, ginhimo pa ginilang informatics para makabulig sa research and development. Now, ayan. Ni hao ma! China and Taiwan. So, in China, they have developed your China Medical Informatics Association or your CMIA. So, this was founded in the 1981 and started holding seminars, trainings, conferences. So, they also established your rules and standards of national hospital management. Other professional societies related to medical informatics are your Chinese Society of Medical Information under the China Medical Association and the Chinese Hospital Information Management Association under the Chinese Hospital Association. And sa Taiwan naman niya class, they have the so-called Taiwan Nursing Informatics Association or TNIA. Again, TNIA. Hindi kayo tinai ha. TNIA. So your TNIA or the Nursing Informatics in Taiwan was first used in 1990, wherein the focus was more on the hospital information system that provides nursing data such as your nursing personnel information, your care plan, and your scheduling. So kanami lang yan, no? Kaya as early as in the 90s sa Taiwan niya may database na sila for nursing personnel nga mga information kung sino ang mga nurses dira or mga doctors dira. May mga care plans naman nga ara sa sunod sang ilang systems, and we have your scheduling of staff kanami. Next, let's proceed with the Taiwan and Hong Kong. So many nursing schools in Taiwan provide NI courses and some have set up your NI programs. Hong Kong naman class, on the other hand, their hospitals have a well-established clinical management and numerous other associated systems widely used by the nurses. So your Hong Kong nurses established their Nurse Info May ara man sila, Nurse Info. In 1991 with the motto, Nursing Informatics for Excellence in Patient Care. Ayan. So in Hong Kong class, they organize regular educational activities dito, which is used as a communication network and produce your regular newsletter and are actively involved with Hong Kong Society of Medical Informatics and Hong Kong Computer Society. Together, they participate in the organization of trade exhibits and conferences. Yeah. Also, class, your nurse info naman, on the other hand, includes your clinical management system, which focuses on patient-oriented data sharing. So it also provides your medical profile for patients and can be accessed by healthcare professionals on a need-to-know basis. So for example, your telemedicine and your video conferencing are also in the use that helps to speed up your work process and strengthen your services in the clinical areas. Ayan. So kanami, as early as in the 90s, naga-telemedicine na sila and video conferencing. Social. Next! Di tayo magpapaiwan dito. Philippines! So in the Philippines class, we have also your Nursing Informatics na organization or association, which is known as your PNIA. PNIA, or your Philippine Nursing Informatics Association, is a subspecialty under your Philippine Nurses Association. So your PNIA envisions to advance nursing informatics in the Philippines through practice, education, research, and public awareness. So here in the Philippines, you also have your major milestones with regards to your informatics. For example, in 1999, your PNA participated in the development of your SHIP, or your Standards for Health Information in the Philippines. By the year 2005, there is already the formation of Master of Science in Health Informatics. Pangitaon, tani bala kayo makuha, tani masters. Kanami siya. And in 2010 class, the formation of your Philippine Nursing Informatics Association, or your PNIA, as your subspecialty of PNA for Nursing Informatics. Now, let's proceed with Singapore. For the meantime, let me drink my water. Okay. Let's proceed, class, with Singapore. So, Nursing Informatics chapter under the Singapore Nurses Association, or your SNA. Di ba ang informatics kaginay sa Philippines under sa PNIA? Ang ilayang informatics under sa Singapore Nurses Association, or SNA. The objectives of your SNA is to create a platform where nurses with a passion for healthcare informatics share your ideas, best practices, and your key challenges. So it organizes and participates in nursing IT conferences and invite your speakers from non-healthcare industries for learning. So usually they organize and conduct courses for nurses also, and submit your publications locally and internationally. Okay. Next. The objectives or additional objectives are: it identifies the level of informatics competencies so as to accomplish their roles as informatics nurses. They utilize the data analytics to generate data to improve your patient outcomes. They also provide resources to those seeking advice or opinions on matters related to technology used in healthcare. And the field of nursing informatics, based on the standards set by SNA, or your Singapore Nurses Association, focuses on your clinical information, education and research, and administrative decision support. Yan. Also, class, the goals established by your SNA in relation to nursing informatics are: number 1, to provide your nursing leadership for the development of nursing or health informatics in Singapore. It also expands your awareness of nursing informatics to all nurses and healthcare community and establish your international network opportunities for nurse informaticians. So kanami, actually class, diri sa Asia, one of the most nga advanced ang technology sa healthcare. Aside from Japan itself, knowing that Japan is highly technological ang ilang aspects sa healthcare, one nga may pinaka-advanced pagid is your Singapore. Na, especially here in Asia. They are known for that. Next, let's have your India. So your India has your IAMI, or your Indian Association for Medical Informatics. The objectives of this association is sensitive to the Indian medical community, or sensitive the Indian medical community to the benefits of your information technology. So it brings about the awareness of and ensure your great utilization of IT in the healthcare facilities across the length and the breadth of India, and also to provide necessary assistance and guidance to other organizations to implement and reap the benefits of IT for healthcare. Yeah. So to summarize everything, especially here in the Asian countries, the healthcare environment in Asian countries is becoming inhospitable due to high healthcare costs. Knowing no nga diri sa Pilipinas, mahal gid man ang cost ng healthcare diri, especially if you are admitted within private hospitals. Also class, increasing competition among healthcare organizations, decreased funding from the government and consumers with more sophisticated demands. Yan. So that is why your professional organizations class will play a major role in raising awareness, educating and disseminating knowledge regarding your health informatics, because nurses, as the largest group of healthcare professionals, have a major role to play in the advancement with technology. So that is why healthcare informatics and the use of your IT has proceeded rapidly in Asian countries. And so far, kita diri sa Philippines, nagamat-amat man adapt with these advancements with technology. Now, let's try to have your South Africa. Diba, duga announce na si Sir sa Miss Universe. South Africa. In 1978, an International Medical Informatics Association, or IMIA, working conference was held in Cape Town in Hospital Information Systems, led by Dr. Marion J. Ball. So in 1988, the first Nursing Informatics workshop was held in Rustenburg. So the Western Cape province of your South Africa was the focus area for health informatics, and an informatics department established at the Groot Schuur Hospital. Also class in South Africa, at MedInfo year 1995, the paper entitled Recognizing Nursing Informatics was presented. Okay. So the South African Health Information Association class, ayan, was developed, okay, or was formed. So the current emphasis is to find enough nursing and medical staff to provide the basic healthcare. Yan. Now, your SAHIA, or your South African Health Informatics Association, was formed to promote your professional application of health informatics in South Africa. And the goals of this organization class include your representation of South African health informatics nationally and internationally. Also, one of the goals of this organization is the advancement of your health informatics sa South Africa. Before, South Africa was deemed to have kumbaga nubo ang ilang pagplastar sa ilang informatics, but right now kumbaga ang South Africa nauungusan pa nila ang ibang countries such as Philippines in the healthcare setting. Yan. So it promotes and upholds the status of your health informatics profession by striving for the recognition of your health informatics as a specialty registrable with the Health Professional Councils of South Africa. Yan. Kumbaga, ang health informatics kuno sa ilaya class, specialization na siya or a specialty. Nga kinahanglan i-register mo sa Health Professional Council sa South Africa. Like for example, diri sa Philippines, kung gusto mo maging certified renal nurse or your CRN, may ara na sila kamo or kamo nga kwaon niya exam para mangin CRNs kamo or certified renal nurses. Same also sa South Africa, pero ilaya they have your specialty more on health informatics. Do ka nami lang gid kay do ka priority nila ang advancements with informatics. Also class, one of the goals of your SAHIA or this organization in South Africa is to stimulate the appropriate conditions of service for health informatics and health informaticians, and to promote your health informatics in the planning and the delivery of your healthcare services. Yeah. So kanami man dito gali class sa South Africa, no? Advanced man sila, especially with the prioritization of healthcare informatics. Okay, so now let's have another portion in which it is mentioned in the South African healthcare system ang ilang e-health strategy. Ano ini ang e-health strategy? So the government released the National E-Health Strategy sa South Africa for the year 2012 and 2016, which aims to support the medium-term priorities of the public health sector. The establishment of your e-health strategy also in Africa class paved the way for future public sector e-health requirements and to lay the requisite foundations for the future integration and coordination of all e-health initiatives in the country. Kay dugay dead sila with the help of this e-health strategy nga dapat sa sulod sa 2012 to 2016 ang ilang healthcare technologies, especially in the world of informatics, ma-advance na through this one. Okay, so may ara sila yung kumbaga goal with the help of your e-health strategy. Okay, so that ends our discussion regarding your nursing informatics from the other countries. So kanami, no, because we have seen the evolution of your informatics not only just here in the Philippines but in other countries as well. Now, let me get back to you on our synchronous class for informations and instructions for our upcoming activities. Now, let's go back with our synchronous classes.